BitByBit-Code channel. In this today video, we are going to learn about the truthy values and falsy values. In this today video, we are going to see that how we can use a truthy value and falsy value and what are the use cases of truthy value and falsy value. So we will see one by one with the definition and we will understand the concept and what are the truthy values and what are the falsy values with their syntax and each and everything we will see one by one. So first we will start with that first paragraph. In this first paragraph, what we mean to say in the sense like truthy value and falsy values are useful whenever we want to make quick decisions in JavaScript without writing long comparisons. So what do you mean by that? So basically they mean to say that whenever we are using truthy values and falsy values, so what it will it will be helpful for the developers. So how it is helpful in the sense like whenever API is getting loaded or something or else a component is rendering, but in that case if the value is false, so what it should happen in the sense it should not render the page. Instead of that, the key value can see on the buttons uh, it's loading or else wait for a while, something it should happen. So whenever the email password you are writing, when the data is stored, that will be empty. So whenever if suppose for an example, I will give an example. Just imagine that one user is submitting a form and you want to check that form. And if how will you check? So to check that one, what you will write email is equal to failed or something in that email. It should not be empty or else null. So what you will do instead of that, you will just add the data. How we can add? Just write the email. If it is empty, it should not render. Okay, if it is correct, then it should load the new page. So that's it, how it works. Now we will go with the next line. In real world projects, they are commonly used to check whether the data exists, whether a user is logged in, whether input is empty, whether an API returns something, whether the feature should run, or whether a value should not valid or not, without explicitly comparing to the true or false, null or undefined. So in this line they have clearly mentioned that whenever the data exists, whether the user is logged in, whether the input is empty. Okay, we will see with this line. If the input is empty, then what it should happen? It should be not rendering the page. So like this it goes on. So if the data is true, then it will be rendered. If the data is false, then it will be page is the it will be on the same page, and it will not load to the any other page. So you can read this one, you can pause this video and complete this sentence, and you can understand by yourself. And why? Because sometimes just reading to the definitions, many of you can understand. Okay. And in this one I have given you some of the examples with the real world example. For example, when validating a form, you can simply check if like this we need to check, okay, inside the if condition, instead of like this, okay, not equal to empty, and email is not null. Like that we need to write some little bit more definite, we need to write little bit more condition. Instead of that, what we can do, we can just write email. So if the data is true, then what will happen? Automatically it will go for the if block, and then the code will be run properly. If the data is false, then what will happen? The condition will fail and the page will not render. So basically in React, we will be having one component. So basically we are having one component render. So one topic is there. In that you can see whenever object exists, then when only the component is going to rendering. So here you can see in this line I have written, if a user object exists, when rendering UI React, you can often use data and component. So whenever data is present, then only it is going to render the component, or else it is not going to show that page. So this is how it works. And some of the examples I have given you, like the in the real world example, like about the email, and about the input is empty, you can see here. Okay, we'll come to the last one. When setting default, you can use the value as default to fallback if the value is falsy, and when enabling or disabling the buttons or else features, you can rely on the truthy values or falsy values. So what this mean to say that whenever if the data is false, so the button should not be activated, or else the button should tell them that user still it is loading or something it's happening inside the behind the screen. So this is how it works. And these all are the falsy values. So falsy values are what? So whenever the data is as a whenever the boolean is, whenever it reaches as a false, so then it is considered as a false. Whenever the number we will get the 0 or minus 0 or on, and empty string, and null, undefined, and nan. So nan in the sense not a number. So whenever these types of data, whenever we are receiving from the input, okay, at the time, that means it's these all are falsy values. At that time the page will not render. So page will not render in the sense the code is not going to execute, and it is not going to call any other function or any other thing. And here these are all are the truthy values. So truthy values are what? Whenever we will receive any true or else one or minus one, not only one. Instead of that, you can pass any other number, 2, 3, 5, 10, or whatever the number you want, in the minus also, in plus also, apart from 0. And if you whenever you are passing the data in the form of string, you can pass anything as space also, but you should not pass as this, like this. Okay, you can see there is no space or anything in this one. That is a totally completely empty. So that means it is a falsy value. And whenever we are writing this one, so this all conditions are a truthy value. Now we will go back to the this one JS file, and we will see one by one. So what I will do, I will create one variable as a message. Message is to false. Okay, and the message to false, and I will write the if condition as message. Okay, and then after writing this one, console.log, the it is a the value, or else console.log, I will just pass the same thing. It is a falsy value. And if I go to the browser and if I reload, you can see it is a falsy value. It is clearly showing on the console. Now that means, now whatever we have written the code, that is a falsy value. And by this one we can understand why it is a falsy value. Instead of this one, whenever you are storing in something inside the variable as a email input, if the email is they have written anything, then it can be considered. Okay, we will just take one another example. Let email, okay, email is equal to, I will add something as xyz.com. Okay, and then next I will add on ternary operator directly inside this one as email of okay, and I will copy this one, and then the another option. So ternary operator, in the sense, it will work as same like if and else. Many of you are aware with the ternary operator, and few of you are new that if you are unable to understand the what is the meaning of ternary operator. So basically ternary operator, in the sense, like it acts like a if and else. So whenever we are writing if and else like this, so we can write the same thing with the ternary operator also. The execution will be same and everything will be same. Just we need to write the question mark for the first time. First time we need to write the logic, and the second time we need to write the truthy value, means the if value, and second time we need to write the false value. And we need to save. And if you go back, we can see this is a truthy value. The output whatever we were getting, that is correct. So this is how it works. And suppose in this case, if I make it as an empty string, then if I save and if I go back, then you can see it is a falsy value. So that means whatever the conditions I have given here, that is properly executing. And what are the truthy values and falsy values I have mentioned here, you can try one by one, and you can understand how it works. And what like if you want a particular definition of this one, you can just Google it. Why? Because everyone is having one different uh, what we can say understanding, like way of understanding. So now uh, you can just go back, and once again you can try all these things. We can, if you want, we can pass the empty brackets also, then also it is fine. But we can't pass the empty string, like we can pass a space in between them, but we should not pass fully empty. Now apart from this one, we should not pass zero also. So this zero is indicates that is a falsy value. So in the real world, there are a lot of use cases are there. So developers used to what they used to do in the sense they will directly use the truthy value and falsy value. And those who are professional, you can see if you are if you're learning still, so what you can do in the sense you can go to any of the websites and you can check how they have written the code, or else whenever you are creating a project, just look at their project how they are maintaining clean and code. So by this one we can maintain a clean and code, and with less lines of code we can just confirmation of that truthy value and falsy value. And those who are not aware of this rendering of the component, so you can just watch my React tutorials. In this one I have written how to render a component, rendering in the component in the sense in React, it will suppose if we are having 3 to 4 files, and those all are interconnected, and the just imagine that the page 1 is connected with page 2 and page 2 is connected with page 3. If page 1 is correct and user is having if suppose just imagine now user has just logged into the page, then only if the credentials are correct, then only the new page is going to open. If the credentials are false, then what will happen, it will be on the same page. So that means the rendering of the page is not happened. If the credentials are correct, then what will happen, the rendering will happen, the credentials are correct. So for that reason we can say that the rendering has happened in this one. So that's it. And if you are what wanted to learn little more JavaScript, you can just comment here, and if it is helpful or whatever you want, you just wanted what are the suggestions you want to provide, you can add a comment. Thanks for watching the video.